Welcome back. We learned the Babbitt's a cheap date.
Cheap? Hurricane ribs are like...
Oh, no, that's true. Well, but it's like, it's a nice meal and then it's a pool. It's a warm, cozy time.
I mean, I'm still saying hurricane ribs are like...
Is it a
Yeah, they're the real deal.
is it a dirty date though? If you're having to base yourself in it all?
Well, you wear a bib.
Well,
so
no,
it's not.
I
yeah.
just want
I
to
was
be clear
imagining
that
him.
Nick's basting was Nick's idea and not a request from Babbitt for the date. I love how Nick is like, what's your ideal date? Keep it clean. By the way, I'm going to strip down and baste myself with barbecue ribs.
I said he had to keep it clean. He needed to keep it clean. I'm going to break him one day. Like, I'm going to finally break down that wall and just, get him on the broadcast as a permanent member.
Is that what it takes to get people on as a permanent member?
Yeah,
I
you
need
got
to
to
base
break
myself
them
and get
down.
Babbitt
it
in
in.
this show, then damn it, I'll do it. Before we get into the next seg, so awkward romance story sent in anon.
Give me that name.
Hey, so this is my awkward romance story time as requested on the stream. Sent to asknickboy@gmail.com. Please share yours. I went interstate to a cousin's 18th birthday party, and while at the party with like 50 people, I ended up on the dance floor with a pretty girl, dancing and making out a little. Anyway, as the music is changing, she asks, "So how do you know the birthday boy?" To which I respond, "Oh, he's my cousin. How do you know him?" She then has a slightly excited look on her face and goes, "Oh my God, no way. What a coincidence. He's my cousin too." Made a straight line to the bar, and as I'm walking, I see two of my aunties pointing and laughing at me as they could tell the penny had finally dropped.
Oh, those aunties are rude.
They were watching the whole
That's
time.
rude.
That's like a TV drama right there. They're just having a great time.
I'm so that auntie though. Like,
That is so funny. That is so funny. Jake,
oh, that's great.
isn't that so
That's
funny?
traumatizing.
That is traumatizing,
Yeah.
Skippy. I would say that is traumatizing.
Oh,
It
you'd be
is
upset.
better to find out after a bit of kissing than after 50 years, is all I'm going to say. After a long and storied marriage, the two decrepit 110-year-old aunties coming to like the 50th wedding anniversary. By the way, we have something to tell you. Anyway, that's my story. All right, next seg.
I know why they wanted that to be kept anonymous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's
That is a
crime.
secret worth keeping,
It
Nick.
is.
If ever you needed a moral compass in a time like
Keep
that,
it.
So, questioning now,
if
is
that
it more
person ever
entertaining
runs
if
for
I
politics,
reveal their name?
if that person ever runs for politics,
Yeah.
you could be their undoing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. I will delete the email. There'll never be a record. All right, it's time to move on to the next seg. It is the Valentine's take. We have the most take on the show. This is the Valentine's Day take. So this is a chance for us to say something that we love about the OPL this split. Something that we're excited about, someone that we're excited about, something that we love. We started this way before. Shall we start with Rusty?
Sure. I love that there are so many rookies in the OPL this split. I genuinely think it's a great thing. I know that a lot of public perception, not necessarily shared by us, is that all of the exports were a negative for the scene. I always thought that was a positive. I love that that happened. I think it's great for the players. But I also love that there is now a clear path to pro, so to speak, for all of the new aspiring players that come in. I love that there's so many new rookies who get to strut their stuff, for better or worse, but they get to come in and really prove themselves against the best.
Because not everyone, obviously some of the rookies will stick around and be great. Not everyone needs to be phenomenal though. It's about, like you said, that path of going, these are chances to prove yourself, chances to work your way up, new blood in the scene.
Yeah, I think like at a certain point, I'm going to sound like a bitter old man right now for a second. But at a
Why
certain
change
point, for a bunch of people out there, this stopped being fun somehow. Like all the negativity on social media
Yeah,
that
right.
I read, I'm like, these are like, every single player in this league is a 17 to I think the maximum age is 26. So I would say like we're going to live to like 115 is like what science tells us right now.
Yeah.
We got a lot of living to do.
Like those
if you can
aunties.
spend 17 to 26 earning like decent pay, living in a gaming house with cool people, playing League of Legends for a living, like the fact that I get to talk about League of Legends for a living and make a salary offer, the fact that we all do actually, like that's fun.
Yeah.
Like, I just
great.
can't believe the negativity around something that is so damn fun. Like, this game could last for, 2 more years, could last for 100 more years. Like, no one actually knows the lifespan of League of Legends. I hope it lasts for 100, then I'm casting for all of it. But, like, That's what I don't get about the negativity. It's like, when did this stop being fun? Like, when did people just start shitting on people for playing League of Legends and like orgs and stuff? It gets my goat. Like, I've had so many cracks at people on Twitter, and I was actually going to say my positive thing about this split is the people that just continue to support and be like fans of like streams. Like, I've seen Parbu streaming heaps at the moment, Juves is streaming, Tally's streaming, a lot of the Order Boys are streaming, Sully's streaming from Pentanet.gg. If I've missed anyone, Toby, Udisoft streams all the time as well. If I've missed anyone, I'm so sorry. But like, the amount of people streaming, I just see like the same people from Twitch chat in OPL popping in to like these kids streams as well, like giving them donations, like giving them some money to be able to like buy a cool dinner on the weekend, maybe a Valentine's Day present or whatever. Like, everyone knows who they are, I won't name names, but like, that's what I'm really happy about with this OPL, is that the hardcore fans have stuck around and continue to support the scene, and like, they don't get bought into all the bullshit around the negativity of it. And like, also to the new coaches, like, you're doing such a good job. Like, there are some coaches that have come into the scene just this year, and they're already immediate upgrades over coaches that have been around for a very long time, just because they're actually more willing to like get actively involved and try and resolve a lot of the problems that have existed in the ecosystem. So I'm super happy.
That was beautifully put. Just touching on the point that you said, and Rusty as well, the thing about the newcomers as well is all your favorite players who have gone and moved on to other regions or retired or whatever, you didn't know who they were before they started playing in the OPL. They were rookies once who you'd never heard of, who you probably were like, who the hell is this? So that means that all those people, we're seeing new versions of them come through. The names that we are learning this split, some of those people will be the names that we love for years to come. So that's very exciting. Skimmy.
It's kind of, I suppose, like Spawn almost stole my point in a way. I was going to say, like, you know, pretty grateful to have this opportunity, right, to work on this platform, to work with you guys, to meet some new faces, to do something that we enjoy, right? You know, it's pretty fortunate in life to do if you say, like, you know, a dream. Most people are doing a job just to pay bills, to get through the day, to fund other activities that they do. So for me, it's like, I'm really grateful of the opportunity to relocate, try something new. And
To escape.
Well, yeah, to escape New Zealand, to come to a new country, to carry on my poems banter.
We bring him in to try and recapture the New Zealand heart. And he's just massacring it in front of all of them.
I don't know, like, I'm probably going to get hella flame back home, but no, I think for me, it's just like the fact that you're doing something that you're passionate about, you enjoy, you get paid to do it, enjoy, have fun. So I'm very grateful for the
We get to live a life that our family doesn't understand in the slightest.
That's it.
I think that's wonderful.
They have no idea what we do. And I never ever tell Uber drivers because that's just an awkward conversation.
Oh, terrible conversation, isn't it?
Oh, I tell all the Uber drivers only because at one point I ran into an Uber driver who was a huge fan of like video games in the OPL and all that sort of stuff, and so it was after MEO, and we had like an hour-long conversation. Fantastic. Well, my Valentine's take. Obviously, I had the rookie thing as well. I think we all feel passionately about that. But mine is, I am excited. I touched on it last seg. Before I came here, the Chiefs Legacy E Clasico battle was a thing that was spoken about with lust and glory and a lot of heart. And then when I came, it was a thing that kind of was a bit of a stomp every time. It was like Chiefs are just going to take it every time. I'm very excited to have this kind of storyline back in the OPL.
Is it next week?
It is.
It is next week, yeah.
On the Saturday, I think.
That's going to be a banger. I hope I'm casting it.
Which actually brings up something
Richard?
to me as well on this point. What I miss about the OPL is the genuine, like, I don't want to say hate, but like rivalry, like that real banter, like that peak League of Legends Carbon Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs. Like, that to me was where like banter was really at its max, and then it started to, like, we got real friendly. We got real friendly for a
Trust me, we
while.
got real friendly on camera.
Yeah.
It's still there. Like, all you have to do is like poke them a couple of times, and it comes out. Like,
Bring it back
I am
publicly.
sure that Legacy wants to smash Order, and I'm sure Order wants to smash Chiefs.
Yep.
And I'm sure that there are a whole bunch of teams in between that want to smash everyone, and there are still genuine player grudges as well. My cry out would be like to the players when you're doing interviews is like, ignore your GMs. I'm a GM.
Yeah.
I say stuff all the time that I don't mean.
Your
Come on the
players
couch
never
and like,
listen to you as well.
Yeah, that's because they're smart, intelligent, handsome individuals, Nick. Come on the couch and ignore them. Like, shit talk people. That's fun.
Please.
Within reason.
Yeah, just don't be rude, but have fun.
Definitely within reason, without swearing and without making it personal.
Throw reason to the wind, end up on the front page of Reddit. All right, it is time to move on to game number 3. It's Mammoth versus AV. Let's take a look at the Mammoth lineup. Skim.
Well, it's the boys. It's Quicker in the top lane, Bass in the jungle, Lived in mid lane, Styled, and Nausicaa in the bot lane. And I'm looking for these big boys to put out a performance.
The tallest team in the OPL is what they've been coined. Also, the only team that is winless in the OPL, second coin.
So which side of the coin do you want us to reference more? It's probably the height.
Positive move.
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
the positive?
This is the love
really
day.
tall.
We love those tall boys.
Yeah, I think this is going to come a lot down to the draft that they're able to get, because we've seen some unique picks come out of this team. We've seen Kweku pick up Boppy. We've seen Bass have really good games as well. So, and I think Start also had a really good center performance. Seems to be one of the only teams still prioritizing that pick.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of those teams, obviously struggling still, but they do have pieces that if they fire at the same time can have a good performance.
For me, it has to be someone other than Styled that needs to carry. And I've known Styled for a while. He was in OCS on my team when I was coaching AV. He is a very good player, solid all-rounder, can't carry to win. He is a very solid player that if someone else is carrying, he's perfect for the team.
Yep.
But he can't do it by himself. And it seemed like he was one of the only people really doing it in weeks past. So they need someone else to elevate, and he'll go with them.
Well, let's see if they can do it against a slightly tired AV team. Jake, are they bringing the same lineup?
Yeah, they certainly should. No, yeah, they are. They certainly are. So it's going to be Draku in the top lane, Lisa in the jungle, Chaz up in the mid lane, Goldcrab and Appy, of course, Coach Max. And I think they would be tired, because that's a roller coaster of a game they played. We're getting smashed. Maybe there's some signs of life. We got a Baron somehow. Oh, we lost the game. And for a young team, the emotional toll, what you guys don't see is behind the scene, how much every single game means to these guys. And I think that is one of those games that you need some experience to be able to flick the switch. So what I would be encouraging them to do is come out super aggressive and be like, if we win laning phase, that's going to be behind us and we'll just crush this game.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see how that goes. We'll be back right after this short break for the Macca's Champ Select.
It's game number 3 of the day as Mammoth take on Avant. Avant, their second game, as already highlighted. For Mammoth, they'll be hungry for a win. For Avant, they'll be hungry for a second.
So hungry they might take them each other to McDonald's for the Macca's Champ
They may
Select
indeed.
after this one. It's going to be Rumble, Lucian, Olaf banned away from the team. Mammoth, a couple of those very targeted bans towards the Avant Gaming members. It's going to be Renekton, Aphelios, Ornn banned away. What's left up and available? Set, Akali, Elise is the other one, and that's going to be locked in.
Yeah, it is the high priority on Elise, as you wanted to see in games past. I think really with those Aphelios changes, I don't think it's going to have any impact whatsoever, right? From infinity range to a slightly lower range, the guy's still an absolute monster. Every single time I watch a play happen, I'm still trying to quantum physics, understand the combination between the weapons and the fact that he just one-shot somebody from a million miles away.
Yeah, and I think Rare said it best, who's my 80 carry. We had a scrim maybe 5-6 days ago, and he was like, I'm still learning what the champion's doing. And he's played a lot of games of it, Skimmy.
Yeah.
So if that's the state of the champion, I would say there's some ambiguity built into the kit. And maybe he needs to be ironed out a little bit.
Be interesting to see if he gets changed. If a rework comes out very early on, but regardless, let's focus on this game for the meantime. Elise is the opening there for Mammoth. The response is a jungle and AD for Avant. And I suppose really what I want to see from Avant, we saw what happened in that game earlier today. Just a very strong early game. Try and bring that forward, because it seems to be such a coin flip of, hey, are we in a position of strength in this mid game? Can we try and get on an objective? Hang on a minute, we're so far behind. So really, really want to see aggression, and I think these two teams, perfect combination to sort of display that.
Yeah, and I just want to see Draco actually pick Mordekaiser here, is what I really want to see, because I think it's one of the safer blinds. I think it's one of his better pickups. He's been struggling a little bit recently. Instead, they go for what is globally one of the safest blinds, and I'll explain why, right? So, Nimbus Cloak got changed from, I can't even remember what it used to be. It was crappy. And now it's, if you use a summoner spell, you get a short dash of movement speed, right? And Zoe just used summoner spells on cooldown on a W in team fights. So pretty much she goes a million miles an hour
ghosted
every single team fight. So I think that this is one of those champions that has been slept on a little bit, has really no losing matchups. I would say only has losing jungle matchups. If you play Zoe into Jarvan and you hate your life, but any other one, it's pretty good. And should be able to navigate these team fights quite successfully.
Well, that's that denial on the Mordekaiser that you spoke about, Drake, who's only played the Ornn, obviously banned away as well as that Mordekaiser. LeBlanc taken off the board, and that will, just a highlight from Mammoth's side, that will be the center prioritization that Rusty was highlighting before as well.
Yeah, obviously Styled is a huge supportive AD carrion. It's really funny because he's also been on my OCS team before, and he is really a good supportive player, and I do echo Rusty's sentiments. It's going to be set Mordekaiser banned away. That means like Aatrox is the last real power pick left up in the top lane. I'd expect them to just give counter pick to Dragku now. And that's a Nerf Leona locked in. Interesting pickup because Nerf Leona kind of sucks in laning phase now. And I think that with this Nautilus Elise combo, they can really hard camp this bottom lane because they are only a go forward bottom lane. And there is a lot of good CC setup coming out of Styled and Nausicaa.
But it does highlight the point once again that you know, we are going to see aggression. That's what I wanted to see from Avant. And yeah, that's a fresh. So
mid Nautilus.
We're going to see a flexing naughty boy. He's double hookers, double damage.
Surely not.
Surely not.
Surely
indeed.
you can't just blind pick. That is, if this goes through, that is outright disrespect from Kweku. Just a blind pick Fiora coming in.
They don't care.
Yeah, good. And it's been punished. Dragku picks up a Gangplank. Gangplank certainly wins this matchup early on, in my opinion. And I also think that like there was heaps more they could have played. Like if you get Kennen or like if you get 80 Kennen there, if you're Kweku, like the game's just over. Like you should not be able to play laning phase. But you know what? I like the confidence. They've got a genuine win condition in the 1-3-1 now. They also have a ton of engage. And as long as he doesn't get hit by a Leona stun, he might even be able to teamfight as well. Fiora isn't as bad as a teamfighter as she used to be.
How strong is the wave pressure that Nautilus can put out against Zoe? Are we going to see a situation where he's able to roam on down with the Elise and just try and bully out bot lane?
Definitely. I think 1-5 will be able to do that. I think like after Zoe gets like 3 or 4 points in Paddle Star, obviously that stops becoming a reality. It just is how many autos you take in the wave. Really good Nautilus players won't actually lose all that much health when they go for their push out, and therefore their roams will be heaps more effective, right? So that's what I'm looking for from Liv. Like, can he actually get successful roams off whilst being full health? Because there's nothing worse than being like, hey, I got priority, but if I step into River, maybe Lee Sin can one-hit me, right? And we've seen Lee Sin do a little bit of work in early games so far, and that's certainly something that they just have to be a little bit aware on the Mammoth lineup.
It almost seems to me as if, you know, Avant say, we want to go aggressive. We've got this all-in bot lane. But now the flip side of that is that Mammoth say, well, we have an aggressive composition, so all the idea of just being able to freely rotate quietly coming into the mid-game, throw that out the door, because we're going to run the script.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is certainly a possibility that, you know, if they get control of this mid lane wave, then they will be able to heavily dive bottom lane with Elise, with Nautilus, with the Thresh. But on the flip side, Skimmy, what you have to think of is like the game never goes to plan. One early gank mid lane, one early gank mid lane, maybe one sleepy trouble bubble landing when you're not expecting it to, and this Nautilus will just be stuck underneath his turret, unable to proc aftershock, in a lot of trouble. So I think there's certainly windows for Chaz to be able to punish still.
Well, let's crack on with it. It's game number 3 today. Week 3 of the OPL. Mammoth taking on Avant. Mammoth 0-4, Avant 1-4. Both so hungry for the win to get themselves in a commanding spot in the league to sort of assert where they feel they should be valued and where they should end up and really build the momentum. Obviously, for Avant, the second game of the day, how's that going to affect them? For Mammoth, hungry to showcase that they are a team that shouldn't be written off.
And correct me if I'm wrong, has Avant won 1 or 2 games so far?
Avant have only won 1.
Yeah, so this is going to be a really tough 0-2 week for Avant on Friday night if they've only got 1 win for the season. They really need to pick this up for Mammoth. That would sit them dead last on the table, and Mammoth would still have a game to play, right? Because Mammoth would have 1 win, and they would also have the head-to-head. So that would be really crazy for me if this AV lineup, which individually looks pretty good. Actually, Avant did make a roster change. I just didn't see it. It's not Gunkgrab playing. It's Violet. And so this is real funny.
We got juked.
Yeah, so I don't know like how many people actually watched them, but over the summer when everyone was in Korea, right? Carbon, myself, Juves, a couple of other people, we got together and we just rebooted in-houses because solo queue time was like 35 minutes because at the end of the season, everyone's super high elo, and then half the people are in Korea. So we started in-houses, and if you were OCS, OPL, or voted in from pro players, you could just play in-houses. And Violet was dominating these in-houses. Like, spawn queue ADC Violet was popping off, man. And I think, not saying that that's why he got a slot on the team. I'm sure people knew about it beforehand. But I was like, my eyes were just open. I was like, hell yeah, I hope this guy really gets some games in OPL. And I'm really happy to see him getting some actual stage time here. Because I thought he was a freak show. Like, I was really, really impressed by him.
Making his debut then, like Seaman in the previous games. So we're going to see some exciting things potentially in this bottom lane.
Yeah, see, Seaman has played, I'm going to say, 40 OPL games in the past. Whereas this is definitely Violet's rookie game in the OPL. So we'll see whether he gets any early help from Lisa here. If Gank certainly could be on.
Early game jitters, are they a thing? Is it going to be a factor as Lisa comes to the bottom lane as you highlight? Did have double buff. Would have definitely been able to emit a fair bit of pressure. What's interesting for me, Spawn, is both of these teams have, on average, the same amount of gold acquired and CS per minute, so definitely similar in their attempts at farming, but the biggest difference for me is Mammoth pump out a lot more damage, but die a lot more as a result. So Avant a little bit more controlled in their fighting or skirmish decision-making, whereas Mammoth kind of like, let's just throw everything against the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really interesting to me, right? Because when I think of AV, I think of like one of the more aggressive teams in the entirety of the league. But obviously, stats not necessarily reflecting that, maybe having slightly longer games as well, which can at times slow things down. Mammoth have been put in situations where it's like, we fight now or we lose the game, so I can see why they've taken a lot of scrappy fights like that.
Yep.
But I think in the ideal world, Avant are actually playing a little bit quicker than Mammoth, and Mammoth are, you know, allowing the game to come to them, especially with this composition. You're going to have multiple supports protecting Styled and Kweku trying to play side lane as much as possible. I'm also super surprised that Lived has got shoved in this much this early in the game. You can see he's already burning through pots, and I think the main reason for that is he's thrown out 3 hooks that I've seen, and he's hit 0 of them, which means that Chaz has just been able to do this, play on the absolute edges of Zoe's limits. And he's just taken too much damage at this stage of the game.
Is that a major cause for concern, given that you mentioned that, you know, 1 to 5, he should be crushing this lane?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely is. I think he should be able to at least get the push in, and I would have expected to see a roam. Like, Doingby is the person that made this champion famous in the LPL, and he was one of the best pre-6 roaming Nautiluses, and showed that in these control mage matchups, you need to be able to dominate the laning phase. Otherwise, you just get outscaled. And I think that... you know, already down, a wave of CS, needs to be able to start catching them underneath these turrets. Probably going to have to burn the teleport as well to get back into this lane. Chaz going to get himself a free recall. Just not looking all that great for Liv so far.
And the benefits, I suppose, of his passive. Able to take down that. Yeah,
now, that is
fantastic.
Awesome.
That could be really good, as it does obviously deny the recall back.
And this is how you get priority, right? You land 1 hook, you do 60% of their health, and all of a sudden, Chaz cannot push that wave out. Plant comes in.
The flash into the flay as Norsca gets aggressive now. They're looking to try and take this kill down, but Baz is biting off more than he can chew. Appy going to get the response on, but he can flash out for safety. The Mammoth gank train comes to a halt.
And Spawn Q Ultraviolet just pops off one more time. I really got to stop saying it. Obviously, Avant Gaming Ultraviolet there. Really nice turnaround on the play. That was all-out aggression. Nausicaa flashing forward. And Violet, honestly, just standing and delivering. Appy gets the Summoner spell down nice and early. It was onto the right target as well because Clean's obviously available on the flip side. Ooh!
That's the depth charge underneath the tower, not in turret range, however. The flash goes out and Lived visibly annoyed of how that one played out.
Very annoyed because he thought that he had pulled turret aggro from an auto attack, it looked like, but the auto attack must have been cancelled. And therefore, he just falls down and looks a little bit silly doing so there, Skimmy. Goes also with the startings of a proto belt, but going with the revolver early on is a risk. Teleport coming in here.
Here comes the gank attempt. Liv is back from the dead, but he's going to rock on up here looking for Appy without a flash, without a chance to escape. And that's going to be an easy soul for Style to collect as he ramps himself up.
That was a really nice play because they got greedy on the side of Avant there. They didn't take the tempo reset. They actually wanted to crash the wave so it bounced back. Now they've got a fairly neutral wave and a little bit of a disaster. You see, meanwhile, in top lane, Dragu got a wave frozen on him as Lisa rotated up to help him push out, and they weren't able to get into the turret. That means that Kweku got like 3 waves in a row from what I saw, like completely undefensible, where Draku just had to seed them. And now he's in a situation where he's actually got a really good positioning for Bass to be able to make a gank happen here. Was just spotted on a ward, but you can see Draku, once again, this is a frozen wave. He can't touch that wave. There's nothing he can do about it. Lisa has to start Dragon instead.
There's not much that he can do. Obviously, that revealing allows Avant with some confidence to start off this Drake. No members to contest that one. The ADs will carry on farming as Lisa will be able to solo that one up quite nicely. And we may see then afterwards the 8-minute rotate towards Herald being a priority. And Cloud Drake added to that arsenal. Giving us some nice cooldown reduction. You'd imagine this is definitely a composition that wants it. You're talking about all the ultimate threats, bullet time, solar flare, not to mention the likes of Lee Sin and Gangplank too. Makes it a scary situation.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great invade coming across. I mean, they can get themselves into mid lane if they want from here, or they can go back bot. Isn't yet 8 minutes. You don't have a level 6 on Appy as well as Violet, so maybe you want a laning phase for a little bit longer. Draku gets chased out here.
Ooh, beautiful little trade there as he pops the riposte to try and block out any form of CC or damage. He's got the better of Draku so far, who was down to half, but now he picks up the tempo. He's a bit aggressive now as Chaz comes in, firing that laser. Not going to find the paddle star onto Kweku and not going to connect with the bubble either. Now in a 2v2 situation, the scanner finds nothing. He wants to try and make something happen. He does not connect, but he's chasing on forward regardless for Chaz. And Kweku now
Bottom lane.
very happy with how that one's worked out. The aggression is all over the map as bot lane again happens, and Violet meets his maker. Styled falling on down. No support, no chance. Under the tower, healing getting popped. Everything thrown at this one to make Violet get that kill. Appy jungling that aggro, but whew, lucky.
Just not able to make it happen. They can see already rotate coming down from Lift. He's going to get here very quickly. Spider Nautilus on the move. There is no level 6 right now for Styled. Is he going to be able to pick it up in time? And can Lived actually make anything happen?
He's got depth charge. He can look for that. He's not going to get it because the movement speed from Misfortune is just far too great. It's going to burn a fair bit of time.
Okay, so really advantageous trade here. Let's have a look at what happened. Really nice bullet time. Makes Nausicaa walk the long way around. You can see Appy repetitive stuns. Gives the kill over to his 80 carry. I like this turnaround chunk that happened afterwards. And you can see already that the wave was in a really good position for this flip. You can see Avant already heading towards the top side of the map. Was a little bit of a disaster top. When you rotate your mid laner up to top, you expect to win any 2v2.
Yeah.
Because they're the two highest experienced members on Summoner's Rift. However, they just didn't account for the fact that Bass was going to be there, and really nice Cocoon landed. Meant that Kweku was able to turn that. Now with a kill. This lane is starting to get a little bit more difficult for the Gangplank than I would have expected. You know, having Gangplank players on the team in the past, I'm sure it's one of the lanes that they actually do like to play since the grass change was there. However, Kweku, just showing that the change to the Q, that it now can proc barrels, I believe, is making it a little bit more bearable than maybe otherwise thought.
Yeah, unlucky there with the Zoe gank, not able to connect with those skill shots to get him online. But as you talk about, the Rift Herald is there. And the bot lane is in the top side. Interesting, however, Styled has sat in the bot side of this map with Fresh freely rotating. Does have those Moby boots, as does Appy as well. So aiming to rock on up with scouting duties and try and keep this Nautilus in check.
Yeah, and look, I don't hate it because, once again, 80 carries do fairly well against Gangplank as long as you're able to hit those barrels. They're not really in threat range. And Kweku does have legitimate kill potential on any Nautilus or Thresh roams, right? We've already seen that happen once. Any form of CC in this Fiora will be able to run over it. Isn't a really great spot at this stage of the game. So I expect that they're just going to play away from the Fiora right now. They wanted the duo lane top. However, it wasn't going to be the case. And actually, they come back up here. Maybe just wanting to get a plate chunk.
Nah, they want to force this one in. They want to get it down, it would seem. But with 3 members there, there's going to be a lot of armor on that tower that could deny it from falling on down. Demolish is available there for Appy.
They need to be super careful here. If they overextend, this is a winnable fight for the Mammoth lineup.
The tower is pretty tanky. There's going to be one plate that remains. Drowsy gets repelled. He doesn't get put to sleep. You can see Mammoth frothing at the moment that they could try and engage. So that control ward there will deny what can be seen as Nausicaa comes on in. Does he have the flash? He does. He's looking for it. He wants to start off with the flay. He wants to follow it up with that death sentence, but who needs a death sentence when you've got a Nautilus for the insurance policy? Hooks on hooks and kills for you.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a really great setup there for the Mammoth lineup. I said if they reapproach that turret, that they're definitely going to be in danger, and I just love the flash from Nautica. No hesitation. I think it was actually Avant that I was talking about it with Appy on the Thresh last game, that as Thresh, in the mid game, you just have to be willing to make plays, otherwise you shouldn't pick the champion. And that was just a no hesitation go. I'm landing, I'm flashing in, gets over the top of the Leona ultimate, and gets the shutdown once again for the Fiora. A legitimate win condition now exists here for Mammoth because they have a really good hold in the 4, and Kweku will win any 1v1 on Summoner's Rift as soon as he has that 2-item spike. It's just how Fiora as a champion works. In the 1v1, she is absolutely queen. And now it becomes, can we get enough of these neutral objectives to force 5v5 team fights? Or is Fiora just going to be able to play her style of League of Legends?
Well, first major items online here for Lived. He's got that Proto Belt in his arsenal, so can have some good readjustment techniques. No Hex Flash on Nausicaa. Coon lands. That's onto Chaz. Death sentence to start with. Now it's going to be a fight on this lip going on in. The bullet time is good, but 2 members go golden, so there's a lot of denial. Solar Flare into 2, gets cleansed on out. The aggression from Avant is starting off good here as they find 3 members as quick as they come. Now they can disengage into the pit, and they pick up Drake for free.
Yeah, really nice team fight coming across from Avant because they get the Gangplank ultimate laid over the top of the bullet time. So even though it was only onto 2 members there, that's just 2 members guaranteed dead. And as you mentioned, Liv dead. No one can enter that area of the team fight, right? That's a really great follow-up kill from Chaz as well. Underneath tier 1, staggers the recall style. Now 20 seconds additional death time as 2 more plates go down in the mid lane. And what was a really even game, now out to a 3,000 gold lead.
Yep, Avant find themselves in a situation here. All just really starts around the overlay.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, no one can re-enter that Spear of Control that's held by the Gangplank ultimate and bullet time, right? Really great Solar Flare. Also just continues to skew the fight so that 2 members can't enter.
Yep.
And I think that a lot of League of Legends is really simple. You talk about zones of threat and whether you can get effective damage off, and in that team fight, Style just couldn't get any damage off. Like, Nausicaa couldn't provide any utility or anything that Thresh wants to do because they were just in a situation where they couldn't enter the zone. So I think really well played from Avant, using their ultimates super well. However, this is a catch in rotation.
This is a bit risky right now. The scanner goes out, and he'll scan 2 members that are looking for a best by expiry of can we live, but will we die? No Solar Flare, no flash, no dash, as Bass flashes himself out of harm's way, but one of the casualties will be Lived. And it's Deja Vu in the top lane, this time in favor for AV.
Yeah, and I mean, Leona just really heads up play, uses a scanner before entering the brush, so she got her W off. Damage reduction going to be there, and it's so hard to burst out Appy at this stage of the game. Hook, gonna miss one more time, and that's just a heads up play from Appy. You talk about spider senses in League of Legends, he couldn't see people on Summoner's Rift, knew they had to be somewhere, and guessed right.
It's the age-old saying, never face check a brush, and Appy did it with some swagger about him.
Yep.
Confidence to the belt.
If you're going to face check, at least hit your buttons first. Like, that's always the rule. If you got like an Olaf axe, throw that in there. If you're a Leona, put on the W. You know, same with Nautilus. You should be hooking those brushes most likely to try and get your aftershock up. And yeah, I mean, just super well played. And the fact that they were able to convert that into another kill continues to grow their lead. Oh, that's a nightmare if you're Kweku. Luden's bounce and Airy gives your position away. Because if that wave pushes past, maybe Kweku can look for a 1v1, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But in such a short lane, you're not going to be able to catch up to a flash Zoe. Really wanted the kill there, and was just betrayed by the items of Summoner's Rift.
Chaz is 3-1. He's got the stopwatch online as well, so incredibly elusive to try and take on down. Been pretty safe in his engagement so far. It almost felt like that engagement around that lip before going into the Drake pit felt a bit like that Soraka was in the game. Just so much area denial. Like, you are not allowed to move here. No matter what we've thrown down, there are ultimates, there are cooldowns. There are major ways of dividing you into different splits and sort of breaking apart this composition that has CC layering for days, as in Mammoth. But Avant will be quite happy with how things have panned out so far. 2 Drakes to their name, the second Herald looking to be acquired, and no visual response here from Mammoth as they aim to just try and get vision across the map.
Yeah, they actually just took a really good reset here, so they're going to be on map quite early and try and deny this Rift Herald charge. Have you got Guncrab's stats there?
What in particular?
Just like, is he plus or minus at 15 minutes? How is he looking overall?
I'll bring that one up because I've got his generic stats here. I can tell you.
Happy in the meanwhile, going to look for a little bit of a play. Liv comes back, looks for the hook. That's going to be Flash coming out of Violet. Don't worry, mate, I got the action. Because the reason I ask is because Violet right now, 2-1-4, has had a pretty good game in his debut. And just thinking about Gunkrab, he has had moments, but overall I would say quite a lackluster split so far.
So for Gunkrab, it's a 50% divide if he's ahead in CS by 15 minutes. Generally speaking, he's down only by about 6 minions, but he's down around about 400 gold by that 15-minute mark. So not a major defeat in lane, but definitely room to work with, I suppose you could say.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like Violet right now is blowing Styled out of the water at 15 minutes, right? He's only +4 CS right now. He's got himself a 2-1-4. 6 out of 8 kill participation, so a lot of action around that bottom lane. But just thinking, like, what do you, if you're Avant, because I'm just trying to think, I put myself in a Avant situation, right? If I'm their GM, I'm their coach. What information do I get from Violet for this game? Maybe he can play stage games and we should give him another game against maybe a better opponent. Are we ready to call, potential change to the starting lineup after 2 weeks? That seems a bit rough for Gunkrab, who has had good performances in the past on teams.
But I mean, the flip side of that is Styled is almost identical. Once again, 50% chance that he's ahead in CS by 15 minutes.
Okay.
Same amount of CS differential, same amount of gold differential. So from that in isolation on its own.
You would say Violet passing marks, whereas maybe Gunkrab on par.
On par with Styled, yeah. So it's, I suppose, a internship or, your interview moment of answering those like really obscure questions. Like, what is a difficult moment you've faced and how have you overseen it?
Yep.
This is his chance to showcase what he's about on this roster.
And I think so far he's had a pretty good game, right? So I think like gives them another player to play, definitely. I was actually talking to a couple of people today about, the fact that OPL historically hasn't seen many subs. Well, another successful one. Mammoth also won the season last year with a successful sub. Chiefs played a successful sub and we're coming first for majority of the split. So I think it's certainly becoming a little bit more of a factor in the OPL.
Third Drake acquired. We are on the Ocean Rift, of course. The bubble does land, but he gets a nice little hook out to buy himself a little bit of breathing room. Demolish obviously online to take that one down with little to no hesitation. The Herald will survive for potentially one more headbutt, breaking down the walls in towards that inhib.
Oh, another bubble. Just misses. If that bubble lands, it might have even signaled go time. The reason it's important is because, as you can see on the top side of the map, Kweku is just split pushing like a monster. The drag kill, if you don't hit the barrels, they don't explode, my friend. And then the Fiora wins the split push. And that's another one he's been beaten to. So this split push starting to get rushed. He would not have any barrels built up right now to be able to try and trim out this wave. And he's missed another one.
Next this time here, as we may potentially see a 1v1 breakout. Revenant's high drop against
It's going to be a 3v1.
Triforce. Lisa coming on the flank. Solar Flare not going to connect, but that's going to force the kick on. Out the Sonic Wave doesn't connect. That makes my eyes hurt. As Violet now looks for it with the bullet time. Kweku, he's cracking up. What has he just done?
I mean, why would you not be laughing? I talk about it all the time, but when you kick as Lee Sin, they fly in a straight line, Skimmy, for like a second. You should be able to line up the Q in the direction they went. No QSS, no flash there from Kweku. So that is just a misplay coming across from Lisa, and then another outplay from Kweku. Even better, he thought he was dead, so he didn't use the flash.
He didn't.
So he walks away with a flash, and he got the flash and 3 ultimates out from the Avant Gaming members.
That felt like an army boot camp and you're having all these hazards thrown at you.
Yeah.
And he's like dodging and weaving and ducking and saying, how have I managed to run through this gauntlet and survive with everything intact?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's just a really well-played scenario there. And obviously, Gangplank starting to really struggle in the side lane. Had to buy a life cut, whereas, that's not something that Kweku is interested in, so he's automatically going to be up 1,000 gold. See, Gameplank's still up in gold, but just down in pressure is the easiest way to say it.
Unable to really translate that into meaningful interactions, especially in that 1v1 split push scenario. But Avant as a team so far definitely have been the one in the up when it comes to that 4-1 split. So Hook goes wandering, but will not find anything in the gardens of Avant. Towers will fall on down here as once again it's mid lane where the pressure is at. They've definitely been the ones in the driving seat mid lane, suffering for Mammoth here. All their pressure definitely directed to the side lane based on what you just mentioned with Fiora.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the thing, right? Is Fiora has to be able to win the split. And this is a reason that a lot of people like Gangplank, because you're going to have global threat with your ultimate, and your wave clear on Gangplank is just really, really good as the game progresses. Level 14 going to have max in the barrels as well as the Q. So he's just going to be able to stand here and use these barrels to be able to clear out waves. And Fiora is not going to win the split as hard as she needs to. Meanwhile, mid lane.
Solar Flare gets juked out there by the stopwatch, which is nice. The flash to get himself out of harm's way straight afterwards. That was a Sonic Wave that gets repelled out as he does get the sleep bubble online. Trade in the side lane still taking place. There's action all across the map, both down to roughly half, but starting to lifesteal back up. Might still see pressure in that middle lane, however, but now it's time to try and make this fight happen. The ultimate comes on down, he jukes, he drives, he runs away. He wants that lifesteal, but he finds a flash and he gets taken on down as mid lane is still going at it. It's going to be Leona that falls on down. Lived picking up his first kill of this game.
Yeah, this is crazy.
It's all over the show.
The area we said that Mammoth win, they just lost, right? That's a Fiora in the side lane getting straight up 1v1 at 2 items. So I thought at 2 items the lane would start to swing, but Draku proving me wrong. And then at the same time, I was sure that the 4v4 in mid lane was Avant favored. You have Zoe with infinite poke, you have really good keep away through Affy as well as Lisa. And then somehow they lose that style.
Just throw the script out.
Yeah, that's a nice hook on, and you can just see it's because they're so split. And Affy just gets layer after layer of CC. And not really all that much they can do. It looks like it wasn't a genuine 4v4. They kind of caught them on the exit. You always have to exit towards your strong side. They don't do that. That is a mistake, however. Now with the 4th dragon of the game coming up. A dragon has been a species hunted relentlessly from Avant Gaming in this Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, I think they're going to make it go extinct at this stage.
Yeah, well, certainly not going to appear after this one if they have their say with it. However, Baron could be on the table.
This is interesting.
Mammoth
Mammoth are sneaking away now. They have no idea because they are in the blind. They will also have a bit of an inclination that they are missing. Gangplank ult comes out to scan that. And that will dissuade them from doing this, and this buys them some much-needed pressure. Now, can they try and deny these recalls? Because bot lane's being pushed in. Draku's looking to try and get an inhib on his own. Mid lane is being pushed in to try and finish off what they started before and acquire a second inhib. So you start Baron, but we're going to get map pressure.
Yeah, however, now there's 2 members stuck inside the base. Are they being corralled away, or will they regroup? Violet, no flash, had to use it to escape the pressure there. This inhib's certainly going to fall down. Can they get a fight on the escape?
They need to try and target Violet because he is incredibly squishy when it comes to a second flash burnt out. The bot lane in trouble here for Avant. Job done. Disengage time. Pick up that Drake. Get that soul and reset. Or are they going to look for the Bush party? They are indeed. They want to go all in on Kweku, who gets CC chain. They walk into a bullet time and they don't have a good time. They are gone. And it is a double kill.
Yeah, beautifully played there from Affy. He stands on the very edge of the brush. Unless you check that with Riposte, you are 100% dying. The laying of CC was also really nice. Ninja Tabbies, not Merc Treads, picked up for Kweku. Itemized for the 1v1, not the team fight. That means they win 2-0. They're going to break the base again, and they will also take Dragon at the same time.
I don't think any amount of tenacity would have saved them in that situation there, Spawn, as the second inhibitor is going to fall on down. 11 kills to 4, but the map structure as well. That's the biggest talking point. You can almost add another 10 kills onto that as they pick up the soul points. Elder Drake, the next one to Spawn, but they have a lot of sustain to their name now.
Yeah, and I don't think it's even going to come down to Elder, right? It's going to be what happens around this next Baron, or if they even go for it. If you just park Gangplank on mid lane wave, send 4 people top, Gangplank very hard to hard engage onto, especially when he's going to be like around the level 16 mark, have a couple of upgrades into that ultimate as well. And that means double super creeps walking into the base, only really Kweku to be able to deal with them at this stage of the game. And Avant seem to have finally got a good team comp together that they're able to play around. A much better performance from the boys in blue.
A few shaky moments, but they definitely stabilized coming into this mid game. Definitely one thing to watch as they claim the vision. They haven't taken out that one ward.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. There is teleport available. Lisa's not the tankiest fella. And you are giving them a team fight if they want to go for this.
Well, there's spots for Mammoth to teleport in. So you can see Fiora rotating from the bottom side right now, clearing out those super minions, looking to try and start things off as that Baron falls on down. And fast. It's down to 30% now, Spawn. They are looking to try and capitalize on this one. A hook goes into Narnia. That's not going to find much right now. Are we going to see a Baron still come out? It's going to be Misfortune of all things who claims it. finds the first kill onto the jungler of Mammoth, finds a second kill onto the mid laner as well. 2 kills for nothing, Baron in the pocket, inhibitor's gone. We are working towards the Nexus.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're just going to march this one down mid lane. They tried to have their cake and eat it too. They sent Kweku to defend. Then they tried to steal and team fight at the same time. You can only do 2 of those things, Skimmy. That means Avant now just march down the front door. They're going to take this win.
They will indeed, as those Nexus towers start to fall. Soul Point, Baron Point, everything in your arsenal. You're buffed for days, and that Nexus will fall on down. But let's pad some KDA before we get that done. It's bullet time, it's damage, it's golden Zhonya's, it's everything thrown at this one. It looks pretty, and it looks good. But at the end of the day, Avant will finish this day off 1-1.
And in his first game in the OPL, Violet picks up the 5-1-7 scoreline. Terrific debut from the rookie. Another one of those players coming out of the summer that people were excited to see on this team. Obviously, Gunkrab sitting the game out, and Avant picking up their second win of the season.
Very interesting to see the flex come out here, and it's proved that it's worked in this situation. Avant be very happy to pick themselves up with a win to really break away from the pack and not fall victim to the lower half of this league. So Avant finished this day 1-1. A double schedule, definitely not one to deter them today.
Yeah, and I mean, ramping up as the day went on, they looked better at the end of game 1, and then as game 2, they started to warm up again, and I feel like this team is hitting their strides. Still a couple of issues in draft there. I think not getting Draku necessarily 100% comfort picks seems to be troubling them a little bit.
Yeah.
But Chaz especially has played better League of Legends today in their bottom lane. With Violet did look the goods. This Mammoth lineup, I'm a little bit confused as to what I would do, Skimmy. They've tried a lot of different things. I think the main problem this game was that they picked Nautilus and weren't able to get priority over any roams in the early game, which is the 100% reason that you picked that champion.
Yeah, of course.
So I think, you know, there were moments that it looked okay. Kweku's escapes were pretty iconic, but I think more questions, honestly, than answers right now for the Mammoth lineup.
Doesn't seem like morale's deterred, though. Very happy amongst it, definitely keeping themselves in high order check. But we're going to throw it back to the boys for a beautiful date with a special member of Avant.
Thank you very much, Skimmy. Draku, welcome.
Hi.
Cranberry juice.
Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yep, you
Cheers.
too. Always spending it with my hand.
Holding a microphone, I assume. So that's the interview. We'll see you after this short break. How are you, mate? Congratulations on the win. 1-1 today, as we spoke about. Second game better for you, obviously, than the first.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I didn't play that well today in both games, actually. Like, I don't know, I just woke up and I wasn't kind of feeling great, but I tried my hardest and that's all I could do.
What about bringing Violet in?
Oh, Violet, well, it was a change.
Yeah.
But I think for his first game, he did really, really good.
Yeah.
Just some macro mistakes here and there.
Yep.
But like, that comes with a rookie.
Yep.
But I really think he has a lot of potential and he's going to do really great this season.
And you mentioned macro. With your team, who actually controls that? Because you guys are, I would say, renowned for being a lot of solo queue players coming together, and now you've just thrown another rookie in when you've taken Gunkrab out, who I know is a pretty vocal player when he's on stage.
Gunkrab usually does the macro.
Yeah.
But like, I guess we all try our hardest to like put bits and pieces on macro, but we're all like not that great at macro. So that is something that we got to work on.
Who was speaking?
Huh?
Who was speaking in
well,
the game just
with
then?
Violet in.
Yeah.
Well, we're just saying random stuff. We didn't know what was happening.
Minute one.
And has he had much of an opportunity for the team cohesion?
Yeah, no, Violet's really, really good as a person. He does like exercise and everything, but he spends a lot of time on his phone, like during like review and stuff. And even in his room, he's just always on his phone.
Kids these days.
Don't tell him that. Don't tell
No,
him.
don't
I'm
tell
not
him
roasting him.
That's fine. He doesn't watch the OPL. Jake said on the couch that the key for you guys, potentially for this game, was to come out aggressive and sort of stay aggressive. Seems to be working for you. Is that your preferred style of play?
Well, this is the first game I actually got to play a carry.
There you go.
So I think it is because I got to be aggressive.
Yep.
And I'm not just on duty. Because, like I've tried to play weak side for the last few weeks, but it's still kind of new to me because like there's weak side, but then there is like super, super weak side where they never ever touch top lane.
Yep.
And I was kind of forced into that role, but today I got to play carry. So
You got to unleash.
Yep.
Very exciting. And finally, ideal Valentine's date for you. Keep it PG. In fact, you know what? Keep it G when I'm talking to you.
Yep. Ideal Valentine's Day. Cranberry juice at OPL.
Dude, well done.
that
That
was-
was very well played. You definitely made up for the beginning of the interview there. We'll be back right after this short break.
Be a fight on this lip going on in. The bullet time is good, but two members go gold. It's just a lot of denial. Solid Clearance 2 gets cleansed on out. The aggression from Avant is starting off good here as they find 3 members as quick as they come. Middle lane, however, but now it's time to try and make this fight happen. The ultimate comes on down. He jukes, he drives, he runs away. He wants that lifesteal, but he finds a flash and he gets taken on down as mid lane is still going at it. It's going to be Leona that falls on down. What are they going to look for the Bush party? They are indeed. They want to go all in on Kweku, who gets CC chain. They walk into a bullet time and they don't have a good time and they are gone. And that Nexus will fall on down, but let's pad some KDA before we get that done. It's bullet time, it's damage, it's golden genres, it's everything thrown at this one. It looks pretty and it looks good, but at the end of the day, Avant will finish this day off 1-1.
Introducing Macca's Mini Games. Play today and win on the My Macca's app.
Woo! Winning!
Every play wins one of your Macca's faves.